Okay, good morning.
Morning.
Erick, thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning, sharing some wisdom with these great entrepreneurs. It's great to be here again at Startup Grind. It's my third year in a row. And first I want to start with congratulations on your recent round with Sequoia leading a $100 million investment, making Zoom the newest unicorn, $1 billion. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And I know that you don't really like to focus on that because really you guys are just heads down on the product, but it is something to celebrate. So first thing I want to do is start with your background and let everyone know what you were doing before you decided to start Zoom.
Yeah, sure. So I started a company in 2011. So prior to founding Zoom, I was at Cisco for several years. And I was Cisco's corporate vice president, responsible for Cisco's overall collaboration software development. So prior to that, obviously, I came to Cisco as part of the Webex acquisition. And I was one of the first several founding engineers. And ultimately, I became vice president of engineering. If some of you are still using Webex, the buggy code I wrote in 1998 is still running there. So be careful. And yeah, anyway, so I'm stuck in this real-time collaboration business for almost 20 years.
Nice. And one of the things that I hear over and again, that happened this morning. I met a good friend, and he mentioned to me, I was telling him I was coming here to talk with you, and he said, I love Zoom, it's changed, his consulting business changed the way that we operate. But how, and he said, it's amazing that in a world in 2011 when you guys launched, when there was, Webex and Skype and some other folks GoToMeeting, how is Zoom able to be successful? It seemed like, game over, yeah. Right?
I think you're right on. So, back then, before I started a company, for sure, I talked with quite a few of my friends, also other, advisors. All of them told me that this market is too crowded. Don't do it. There's so many other products out there already. And however, I spent all the time talking with customers. I found one thing very interesting. None of those customers, they are happy about the product they are using today. No matter Webex or GoToMeeting or Skype, they just do not feel happy. And I asked them why. They told me all the kinds of reasons. I realized, if customers, they are not happy about the solution, that means you have opportunity. If you can build something customers really love, enjoy using that product, I think you could build a very good sustainable business. That's how we started. And for the first 2 years, we did not do anything. Around 50 engineers, we were just the heads down to the product side, fully focused on the platform side. We truly believe if you can build a product customers really love better than any other solutions, no matter how crowded that market it is, you have a great opportunity. I think Zoom also proved that. So.
It's right. You know what I hear over and over again? It just works. It's so easy to use, and it just works. I think one of the advantages also could be that at the time, 2010, 2011, the mobile devices were starting to take over. So you had a new platform that these old products really weren't built for. And you guys were able to do your technology to work much better for these new products. Is that?
Absolutely. See, take iPhone, for example, right? How to optimize that iPhone experience. Quite often, our team, we are, writing assembly language, to optimize our product experience. That's why compared to any other solutions, I mean like an iPhone or any other mobile phone experience, we know for sure why our product is better. That's why when customers, they try our product, they will say, wow, this one is better. That's why, soon they switch to our platform, so one by one.
The other day, it's really transformed the way that we operate at Maven. We meet hundreds of entrepreneurs from around the world now and even around the United States, we don't have to travel to. We use Zoom, and it's as if we're there. The other day, I was literally in the car. We had an emergency call. There was a very hot company. It was in Israel. They were on their laptop in Israel on a Wi-Fi network. I was on my cell phone driving in my car on 3G, and we had someone else on their iPad in somewhere else in San Francisco, and it just worked seamlessly. Yeah.
So speaking of travel, so 3 years ago, after our product were ready, I promised to my wife I only travel twice a year for business travel. Or 3 years now, it proved it's okay. And I would say you should do the same thing, but only travel here once for this Starbucks grid. Just one more travel is good enough. The other time, just use Zoom. So.
Yeah, it's been, we're just a lot more efficient using Zoom. So one of the things that we have a lot of entrepreneurs here, they're working hard to achieve their dreams, and it'd be great if you can share some, tips and best practices of, how you've been able to achieve some success, some things that, as they're thinking of early in their product development, around investors, anything that you could think of that could be helpful to them.
Sure. So I think in retrospect, I think two things. I think this is probably the tips I got from some others. Also think this is really useful. Is first of all, if you have a great product background, you do not need to find a co-founder. You can do it by yourself. Will save you a lot of time down the road, because otherwise every day you need help with a co-founder, convince him, her, I think talk about strategy. I think you can do that if you have a great product background and focus on product side. Whenever the product is ready, you can hire a VP sales or VP marketing to help you. So meaning the sole founder, in my case, I'm a sole founder. I think it's, looking back, I think it's still the right thing to do. You do not need to follow, other investors told you got to have a co-founder. I don't believe that. So that's the first thing. The second one is, there's so many VCs out there, as how to find the right VC, right partner is tricky. I would say in my case, I always wanted to look for those investors who would like to invest in me and not in my business. Because my business can be up and down. I can pivot any time down the road. If I pick up investors who would like to invest in the business, guess what? Down the road, there will have some conflict, right? So all those early investors, I talk to, I'll give one example. The two of the very, I think very good angel investors, after started the business almost 1 year, they still do not know what I'm doing. And they say, I just trust you, do whatever you think right, just to focus on that, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think we should talk a little bit about the founder, co-founder issue, because one of the things that, we do here and we see at Maven is often having a co-founder can be very helpful. And I'm wondering if it's also, I think single founders clearly work. I was reading the other day, I think in YC, it's like 10% of their successful companies are single founders. So there are examples of it. I think 30 or 40% are two founders. That's usually the sweet spot, and because it's nice to have that person who's there in the trenches with you. I'm just wondering if your example is a little bit different because you had already been through this process at Webex. You were very early and a senior in the engineering team, and you were also very technical. So as a technical single founder with some experience, I think you have a better chance of significant success. But if it was your first time around, maybe having that co-founder partner could be helpful. How would you?
I agree with you, but also you got to believe, right? So if you have a product background, I would say for the first 1 year or 2 years before your product ready, I would say just hire engineer team or product team focus on product side. That's the most important thing. You do not need to have a co-founder at that time. So, but for sure, the pressure is high, right?
Yeah.
Just yeah.
And for us, as an early investor working with you from the very beginning at Zoom, we generally do consumer software, and this was a little bit different because your plan was always to be a big enterprise SaaS, play, which you've achieved. But you welcomed us as an investor because we had something value to add, which was you really wanted to make this so easy to use. Even someone who is a Facebook user could just push a button and it works. And that's kind of our expertise, right? And
yep.
You kind of had specific investors in mind as you were thinking about who could be helpful in what piece of the puzzle. And it was also fun to work with you on the name of the company.
Yeah, so speaking of name, that's interesting. So, and back then, so we tried to figure out what's the company name, 6 months before we launched the product. And literally, it took me 6 months. I still cannot figure out a good name. Every day I spend some time trying to come up with a new name. But sometimes even my son, he told me that name is really horrible, And I sort of gave up. 1 week before we launched the product, I still do not know what's the product name or company name. And I called Jim over the weekend. Jim, I'm stuck now. Can you please do me a favor, figure out a name? That's why the Zoom, the name came up. So. And that's why when you pick up the investors or advisors, make sure when and how they can help you down the road, right? Either from marketing side, business side, sales side, and even R&D side. So make sure you think about in the future what kind of problem you can have. and then find those investors, find those advisors. It's really important. Those investors, advisors may not help you on day one, but they are going to help you in the future. So that's very, very important. You got to plan very well.
So what do you see for Zoom? I mean, you've done so well. We'll share a few of the numbers that you've shared publicly. What do you see for Zoom in the next year, and how do you see the company growing over the next 3 to 5 years?
Frankly speaking, I never thought about like 3 years out or 5 years out. So one thing we know every day we focus on is how to make sure, deliver happiness to our customers. If you ask me what's the goal for next year, I would say deliver more happiness to our customers. We do not focus on spending too much time getting the new customers, new prospect. Really focus on making sure our existing customers are very happy. So that's our goal. And we do not have a specific goal like in 3 years out, what should we do? I don't. So it's hard to say. So.
But you plan, this is a standalone business, just keep growing, delighting customers. Can we share some of the numbers, how many business customers you have today? And these are very large companies.
Yeah, we have over 500,000, unique business domains.
500,000 unique business domains.
Yes.
And that's not including the millions of individuals who use the product.
No, yeah.
That's amazing.
This is just business domains.
Wow, that's phenomenal. And approximately how many annual minutes do you think that? So
based on the daily minutes, so the annual minutes is around 18 billion. Yeah.
18 billion.
Yeah.
Wow. And have you, the technology scaling, I mean, the team is growing to accommodate this?
Yeah, that's for sure. That's why, we spent 2 years we did not do anything. So before we build the product, we want to make sure on day one, your architecture got to be scalable. Otherwise down the road, when you have so many users, you try to scale your backend, it's too late. On day one, you better have a right architecture. That's why it took us, 2 years. So for now, we do not have any scalability issues.
It's never failed for me. I mean, it always works, which is phenomenal. And maybe there was like one time where, in the old technologies with the Webexes and the Skypes, you're just used to this jerky motion, right? But I've been using Zoom for now, 2 or 3 years exclusively. And once for like a second, there was a little jerky motion. I emailed you about it. You had someone on the team get on it right away. I mean, it's amazing the customer service and product attention you guys give to this. If you guys ever have any issues, you should let them know. They fix it right there. It's incredible. And I think that's one of the secrets of your success. You take all that feedback, new feature suggestions very seriously.
But because that's part of the, I would say the end-to-end user experience. You got to make sure your customer happy, not only for product side, almost for every interaction, your users, they interact with your team. Make sure they feel, wow, I can count on this company, I trust this business, I really enjoy talking with anyone from this company. I think that's overall end-to-end user experience. That's really important.
Yeah, well, and you as the founder and CEO have set that culture and the tone of, and everybody in the company behaves that way. I got a marketing email from Zoom recently. There was a link that wasn't working. Like the head of marketing got on that right away. Like that's the kind of attention to detail that makes companies billion-dollar businesses.
Yeah. So in early days, right, every time, whenever the paid customer, they cancel the service, I always personally reply back. Even recently, I still do that, but a little bit slow because there's too many other things. But for the first 3 years, in every cancellation, I personally reply back because you really want to understand why the customer they canceled, and also make sure you understand the problem. And quite often, I found after that, those customers who canceled later on, became our very loyal customers.
Of course.
Refer to a lot of other customers. That's a very, very good, I think, investment.
Speaking of referral, we have a couple of minutes, but we were talking with Derek earlier, right before we got on, and it seems like Startup Grind is now, all from organic growth using Zoom, which is fantastic. And I think there'll be maybe some interesting partnership opportunities between Zoom and Startup Grind going forward. And again, it wasn't like you were out there calling out. Someone on the team found it and told everyone else, this is much better than Webex and Skype and GoToMeeting. Let's use this. And it just spreads like that, which is phenomenal. You have some plans to grow in Europe in particular, and I know Startup Grind is very big there. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that, the kind of people you might be looking
sure.
to hire there?
So when we started, we focus on North America, but we do see a lot of users coming from UK, in Germany, France, I think this year we are going to aggressively expand into the European countries because many users already out there. I think we are going to hire a team over there, local team for sales engineers, support team, and also customer success manager as well. I think overall this is our 2017 plan. Yeah.
Nice. And Erick has generously agreed to stay for about 15 or 20 minutes we couldn't do Q&A in this forum, but you'll stay in maybe outside to chat if anyone has any questions or want to learn more about these opportunities in Europe. I just want to end by saying that, it's been an honor to work with you and help and watch you really build this incredible business. I think you're a great example of success of entrepreneurship in Silicon Valley. And I personally love when the good guys win, and you definitely are one of the good guys. So let's give Erick and Zoom a great congratulations.